Hi everyone. Good morning, I almost said, but good evening, everyone. Great to see you guys here gathered. Some people are still joining, and it's really great pleasure and honor to start off this HJ Foundations program. And it's the first course of its kind. It comes on the foundation, of course, of many years of STF work, as well as the Nordic workshops that Peter and his team organized over the last years. And yeah, we are very grateful that all of you could make the time to, confront yourself with questions of spiritual leadership. And this course is called Foundations because it will really tackle or deal with the foundations of our faith and what it means to take spiritual responsibility, to respond to God, to respond to true parents, and orient our lives, reorient our lives on that course, on that path. We are coming here together from a quite wide age range. So it's from some of you or some of us are 19 years old, others are approaching 40. And actually this phase of life is full of transition points and transformation points in our lives. And this course is for all those transformation points to reassess and realign our life of faith, to look deeper, to ask the right questions, to face the right doubts that bring us deeper into our relationship with God and our Heavenly Parent, and truly to know ourselves. So this course will not feature many management tools or situations what kind of organizational leadership. It's not so much oriented with or concerned with organizational leadership, but it's really focusing on spiritual leadership. And spiritual leadership is about connecting to God, loving my brother and sisters, and confronting evil. This is the three in a sense, three tasks that we need to do as spiritual leaders, and ask and respond to these questions that God asks us from time again. Where are you? Where is your brother? Where is your sister? And so, with this, so lectures and input from very wise, young and old, elder people will be a very crucial and important part of this program. But not only that, experience tells us that we learn much more when we can learn a lot when we speak. So you'll be in teams for the rest of the program, and you'll have your first team meeting tonight, and being and connecting to each other in teams, speaking what your heart is telling you to say, and genuinely listening to others will be as crucial and as an important part of this program. And you may wonder, is this possible online? And it truly is. It's a great opportunity to connect with such a diverse group of people in genuine and deep conversation over the next 40 days. So I'm very much looking forward to talking, discussing, and learning from each and everyone here on this course. And that for an first introduction, and we'll come back to these themes over and over across the course. Now it's my great honor and privilege to hand over to our regional presidents, to some people that really, I and my wife Yoshiko are deeply grateful for their profound love for God and their neighbor, us, this region, and their guidance as the regional presidents of Yume and the Middle East. Dear Michael and Fumiko Balcomb, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bogdan. And of course, when Bogdan was talking about people approaching 40, he was talking about us. We're approaching 40. That is 40 years of marriage. Yesterday was our 39th anniversary, wasn't it, Anna?
Yes.
And we're really happy to see all of you this evening. We're not going to talk for a long time. But we did want to share something that we recently came to understand on this topic for tonight, which is God, the Heavenly Parent, because actually that's something that is a continuous learning process. And one thing I've learned in the last 39 years is let your wife go first. So, Fumiko.
Uh, Good evening, brother young people. Thank you. So happy to meet you. Many familiar faces. We had an urgent need to see our children. The last month we visited California, and actually through my action, I deeply realized God's unconditional love. We have 5 children, and they're living 3 different places. And maybe you can show the picture now.
Yeah, they all live in California, by the way.
Yeah, our activity, my activities are really helping children. Uh, a lot of help. A daughter bought house recently, a few months ago, and our son bought house. And one day, each day I'm really help. This is daughter's house, and very, very hot California, maybe the blue sky. And I think that day too, about the 35 degree and very, very hot outside. But I was sweating and without food, without drinking water, and just I was just doing, just investing in myself. And after about the 6 months, they thought, okay, now it's just a bit dangerous. I should drink water. Just stop. And I realized that yes, that is because of my own children's house. The help is a normal thing. But when I stopped, somehow I felt like God telling me, this is my love to my children, just unconditional love, and without returning anything. And also, Mike is helping making son's house and making a deck, and also the foundation for this is going to be a swimming pool on the top of this small area. And it's just Mike was so sweat the many many hours for the helping my sons. Uh, Through this somehow uh, our love toward the children, the grandchildren, is really just unconditional, and to everybody this is a normal thing. But when I stopped the second, really God's whispering, this is my unconditional love to everybody. So this workshop, I'm sure you experience so many times of this is God's help through lecturer or through brothers and sisters, or through even the family. So let us be grateful to receive this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter and Deborah, for the really such an investment, and Bogdan's as elder brother position now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Fumiko. So, of course, we're created by God, but Father points out at the very beginning of the Cheonseonggyang, we can't see God. And Father, if you ever have a chance to read it, it's interesting how Father discusses the inner process of God when he was doing the creation. God had to decide, shall I be visible or invisible? Shall I be always present, or shall I allow myself to hide sometime? And Father's very interesting. And he said, God realized that if he were visible, if he were present all the time in our lives at full power, we would go crazy. Our minds would explode. Have you ever had that feeling, my mind's going to explode? I just can't take anymore. It's kind of natural. So God, thinking about this, realized that he needed to give us space so that we could enter in a relationship with him and her, that had room for maneuver and growth and development. And I know that Father couldn't teach that unless he'd experienced it himself. And I love Father's autobiography where he talks about his encounter with Jesus and with God, because it's very frank. You know, we think, well, Father's the Messiah. He was chosen specially by heaven. And, you know, his experience must be so different from mine. But it sounds like it wasn't. So there were good days when Father felt the love and caress of God, and, you know, things went well and he understood things. But there were many more bad days when everything was blocked, nothing went right. And at the end of it, he felt, I'm going backwards. And I've had many days like that, and I expect you have too. You know, days when you suddenly realize, you know, I'm not the person I thought I was. My understanding isn't what I was quite confident about. The fact you're here on this course means that you're doing the right thing. This is the place to do something about that. Now, the divine principle tells us that knowing God is kind of complicated. Some people will say, well, you can know God through your conscience. And certainly you can know a lot about God from your conscience and your inner self. But that's not the whole story, is it? Because of the fall, because of the world we live in, our conscience can get confused sometimes. And we think we're doing the right thing, and it turns out later that we're not. I can tell you lots about that, but it will take up the whole session. So we need to live by conscience, yes. We also need to learn from other people. Now, of course, it's somewhat easier to learn from someone you respect, maybe someone older, someone who has a lot of experience. I see my brother Giuseppe on the course, so it looks like you'll be all right there. But my experience is that sometimes you learn more from people you don't respect. In fact, you actively dislike them and think they're idiots. Not, of course, that I think that of anyone in the church, but the fact is, you have to be open. We have to be open to hear the voice of God from anyone. And sometimes it comes from the most unexpected place. My final point is, and this is something of my personal relationship with God, I realize God has a big sense of humor, because some of the most difficult times in my life, God has broken through by joking with me, by playing with me, by showing me that, hey, you know, it's all right. You shouldn't take yourself so serious. And some of my relationships with Father also have been very happy and funny. And I'll be talking more about that perhaps on Tuesday when I share about coming to know true parents. But I just wanted to reflect again on what Fumiko said. God wants nothing more than to be part of all of our lives. That's the whole thing. You know, sometimes we think, what can I do for God? What can I do for the providence? What can I do for my family, the world? Those are good thoughts to have. But we have to remember that God is yearning more than anything, just to be able to be in our lives and to be part of it. And not to boss us around or tell us what to do, but even as, you know, to sweat together, to do the gardening or the cleaning or the difficult work. You know, a parent wants nothing more than to share the life of his children. Most of you don't have children yet, but when you do, and particularly when you have grandchildren, suddenly it all starts to make sense. One final thing, I've already taken a screenshot and I'm sending it to True Mother. She's very interested in the start of this new course. You remember that when Deborah was leading STF, True Mother was quite often inviting STF to join her in Africa or Korea. And she definitely wants to keep closely in touch with you here. I'll do my best to see that you get a personal message from True Mother by the end of the course. But that shouldn't stop you from already reaching out and communicating from now on. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm so happy and pleased to see you here. You're in very capable hands, and I know it's going to be a very quick 40 days. God bless you all. Thank you.
God bless you.